I never read the man. I never read many things on from other drivers.
Have you ever seen duct tape on a Formula One car? Could this be McLaren's hidden advantage, or a tricky rule violation that might cause serious problems for them? Let's find out what's happening in the F1 world. In Formula One, every little detail on the car can make a huge difference. Teams are always trying to push the limits with their designs and technologies to get that extra edge on the track. One of the key components of an F1 car is the brake system. It's crucial for performance, safety, and strategy during races. Now, McLaren, one of the top teams in F1, has not done a very important thing that needed to be done as per the F1 laws, and it caught the attention of their rivals, especially Red Bull. Red Bull believes that these brake discs give McLaren an unfair advantage, so they've decided to complain. So what are they complaining about? Red Bull recently took their concerns to the FIA, the governing body of Formula One. They've accused McLaren of using brake discs that don't comply with the regulations. Their eyes fell on a hole near the front and rear brake discs of the McLaren's MCL38. This is a big deal because the brake discs are crucial to a car's performance and safety. If a team is using an illegal part, it can give them an unfair advantage, and they use duct tape to cover it up instead of closing properly. Red Bull suspects that McLaren might have used it as an extra cooling channel. Apparently, the Woking team has made a small hole near the brake discs to insert sensors that measure the temperature of the rims and tires, which could give them a hidden advantage. According to FIA regulations, teams can put sensors through holes in the brake discs during Friday's free practice to gather data. But by Saturday, these holes must be covered up. Red Bull noticed that McLaren hasn't always followed this rule at some races. The newest rumor is that the FIA has deemed McLaren's solution legal in the last 2 races, though the investigation continues. So now you think if the statement by Red Bull was right, then what would be the advantage if McLaren had done that? Formula One cars use the most advanced brake systems to reduce the speed of incredibly fast machines. These cars use disc brakes, which are very different from those used in normal cars. These discs can get extremely hot due to the friction and the high speeds involved, so managing their temperature is hard. Now, every F1 car is allowed to have holes in the brake discs for certain parts of the race weekend, like during practice sessions. These holes help with cooling and data gathering. By measuring temperatures and airflow during practice, teams can better understand how their brakes are performing and how to optimize them for the race. But as we discussed earlier, these holes need to be covered up for qualifying and the actual race. If McLaren or any other racing team didn't close these holes during the race, they would definitely have an advantage. Better cooling of the discs is the main advantage. If the holes are left uncovered, air can flow through the brake discs more easily. This helps keep the brake discs cooler and prevents them from overheating. Overheated brakes can lose efficiency, making it harder to slow the car down effectively. Cooler brakes maintain their performance longer, which is a huge advantage during a race. The car gives a consistent performance. Cooler brakes don't just mean better stopping power, they also mean more consistent performance. When brakes get too hot, they can cause brake fade, where the brakes become less effective. By keeping the brakes cooler, the drivers could maintain more consistent braking performance throughout the race. Believe it or not, the brakes can affect the tires too. Overheating brakes can transfer excess heat to the tires, which can wear them out faster. By keeping the brakes cooler, the tires might stay within their optimal temperature range and potentially last longer. This means they could have a tire advantage and thus need fewer pit stops or be able to push harder on older tires. Suppose the acquisition made by Red Bull against McLaren is valid. In that case, this might be the reason why the McLaren cars were half a second faster when compared to their previous races. The main thing is that we're not sure, and they were performing better with older tires than any other teams, especially Red Bull. This may be the reason Red Bull is pissed off. So now many thoughts will be passing through your minds about this. Well, there are more exciting things happening in the F1 world. Have you heard about Haas and Ferrari's new deal? They've decided to keep working together in Formula One for even longer. It's like they've renewed their partnership agreement. Do you know how sports teams have sponsors and partners who help them out? Well, in F1, teams like Haas often team up with bigger teams like Ferrari for technical support. So, Haas and Ferrari have been buddies for a while now, as Ferrari supplies Haas with important stuff, like engines and other technical know-how. This helps Haas compete in races against other teams. For Haas, having Ferrari on their side means they get top-notch engines and technology. It's like getting the best tools to build the fastest car on the track. This deal they've signed keeps their partnership going until 2028. That's a really long time in the fast world of F1. This means that Haas can plan with confidence. They know they'll have Ferrari's support for the next few seasons, which is really important in a sport where every split second counts. For Haas fans, this means they can expect to see their favorite team continuing to improve. With Ferrari's help, Haas can work on making their cars faster and more competitive. Technical partnerships are not just about speed, though. They also involve sharing ideas and innovations. So Haas and Ferrari will probably share ideas to find new ways to make F1 technology even better. Haas fans are getting both good and bad news. On the other hand, Magnussen is leaving Haas. He's been with Haas for a while now. Actually, he spent 7 seasons with them from 2017 to 2020, and then from 2022 to 2024. This season, though, he scored 5 points, while his teammate, Nico Hülkenberg, has racked up 22. Magnussen had a standout year in 2018, helping Haas secure their best-ever finish in the Constructors' Championship, 5th place. He really shone that season, scoring points in 11 out of 21 races and finishing 9th overall in the driver standings. But just before the Hungarian Grand Prix, Haas shocked everyone. They announced that young racer Ollie Behrman would be making his full-time debut with the team in 2025. This news came as a surprise, especially since many expected Magnussen to continue with Haas for another season. So what's next for Haas? Well, they've got some decisions to make. With Magnussen leaving at the end of this season, they'll need to find a new driver to join Behrman for the 2025 season. Another rumor is that Esteban Ocon, the rising star in Formula 1, will step into Magnussen's seat. The French driver has been impressing everyone with his excellent performances, especially with Alpine, as he has demonstrated his skill in difficult situations and close races on the track. Suppose Ocon's move to Haas is valid. In that case, it signals a new chapter for both him and the team, offering fresh opportunities and challenges. For Magnussen, it means exploring new opportunities in Formula 1. He's proven himself as a competitive driver over the years, so he'll likely be considering offers from other teams where he can continue to showcase his skills. When talking about F1, it's impossible to forget the Mercedes F1 team. Lately, there's been a lot of excitement about Mercedes, especially after their recent successes leading up to the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring circuit in Budapest. Mercedes, known for its dominance in recent years, hadn't won Formula 1 for 19 months, which is unusual for a team that is used to winning often. But things have changed recently, and now they're winning again. First up was George Russell's impressive victory in Austria. It was a huge moment for the young British driver who's been making waves since joining Mercedes. His win came as a bit of a surprise, but it showed just how competitive he can be when given the right car and opportunity. Next was Lewis Hamilton's heartfelt victory at Silverstone, the race held in his home country. It was a special win for Hamilton, who is a crowd favorite in the UK. What made it even sweeter was that Mercedes had locked out the front row of the grid in qualifying, a rare and unexpected 1-2 finish that set the stage for a memorable race day. Qualifying is crucial in Formula 1 because it determines where each driver starts on the grid. Mercedes securing the front row meant that Hamilton and Russell had the best starting positions, giving them a strong chance to win. Now, heading into the Hungarian Grand Prix, Mercedes is aiming for a 3rd consecutive win. The team's confidence is high, especially with their recent performances proving they're back in top form. The Hungaroring circuit presents its challenges with its tight corners and technical sections, but Mercedes' recent victories have lifted spirits and momentum within the team. With everyone watching closely and tension building up, the Formula 1 world is waiting for the upcoming races. What will this accusation mean for McLaren's future in F1? Comment your thoughts on this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.